This is Didgeridoo TV for Marketing Facts here at Beyond Enterprise 2.0 in Amsterdam. And next to me is MacNiven from SAP, and he is Communication and Innovation Manager. Innovation and communication, how does it go along within SAP?
Well, I mean, it's developing as a category is important, but it's basically, you have your standard forms of communications and technology, newsletters and all the rest. I mean, that's antiquated. It's also unidirectional. So the first shift moving towards bidirectional communications is social media. But taking it to the next step, I mean, the platforms are not standing still. They move forward. You have to be in the cutting edge. Also looking at other forms of interaction, augmented reality, etc. How do people communicate now? I mean, ultimately, communications underlies everything. But the approaches, the formats, the techniques, you have to keep experimenting.
And social media, and then the next step. So you've done some things in social media within SAP, but now you're ready for the next step. You talked about gamification. What is gamification?
Gamification is basically taking that most primal urge that humans have to communicate via play and to learn via play, and bringing that into the enterprise. So it's basically using game mechanics and human psychology to inspire better performance, happier employees within the normal working processes.
And how does that? Because I remember working for a pharmaceutical company, and someone said, "We're not here to make fun." Now, start gaming in working time. What kind of response do you get to that?
You get the same sort of skepticism that you typically used to get, or we used to get for social media as well, which is, people don't have time for this, it's not serious, there's no business value, etc. Until you start proving it. So you've got to start off with some small pilots. But basically, it really comes down to, if people enjoy what they're doing, if you can frame a task in such a way that it's enjoyable to do, then they're going to do it faster and better and look forward to the next round as well. And that's where gamification and game mechanics can help.
So it is a combination of fun, joy, and a sort of rewards. Can you give an example of this?
Well, one example is the SAP Community Network, which is a massive network of around 2 million members that has leaderboards, a mentor system, etc., so that you're basically following the SAP's model of status, access, power, and stuff that Gabe Sisherman talks about. We have really that psychic income is built into the system and has been for a number of years already. So you have people gather points and they become experts in the area of SAP technologies and gain that sort of status and that reputation that way. There are leaderboards and ultimately the potential to become a mentor, which is a very coveted accolade within that network. So that's motivating an increase in quality within the network and also in participation.
So you have already done various implementations of bringing games and fun into everyday work. How can you call that a success? I mean, what does it give you as a result to say, well, this is really for some activities the way forward?
How does it, and I have to redefine that, how does it count as a success? Well, if it's effective, I mean, if it's achieving the goals, the objectives that you set, and overachieving or exceeding, then it's going to be a success. It's, gamification has been around for a long time in different forms. We used to call it edutainment. The whole concept of making things fun, of using puppets and whatever else, or to inspire people, the whole gaming elements, or massively multiplayer thumb wrestling, for example, which has also been used as an example to warm people up at gamification events. People have a natural drive to be competitive and to exceed and to master different topics. And if you don't have that built into your system, education, I mean, if you have a book with 300 pages about, enterprise software, you're hardly going to really get involved in it. If it doesn't engage you, if there's no storytelling involved, people are very, very pictorial in the way they learn as well. And if you combine it with positive results, it's remembered. And then the learning effect is simply a hell of a lot better than if you don't.
And how is that? Is that already building your reputation to the outside world? Because I can understand that that's attractive to future employees to the company for joining SAP. Is that something that you're also promoting to let's say, to the outside world?
Well, certainly within the SAP Community Network, that's all visible because it's an external community. So any experience gathered there, and a lot of consulting firms that work with SAP, of course, place a lot of value on the number of points they have because you also have leaderboards for partners. So that's attractive for them too, to be seen as the best partners, and of course for individuals. And if you leave the company and you want to consult for SAP somewhere else, and you're one of the leading mentors in that community, then it has a lot of weight. So there's definite value. Internally, then you have that internally, of course. We have leaderboards internally as well that we're starting to implement. Gamification is still pretty much in its early phases, at least within real enterprise rollouts. So when people talk about being gurus or experts, it's really, we're all at the tip of the iceberg with it. But I see enormous potential for it, and it's definitely, it's the buzz of today that, social media 2 or 3 years back was. And in 2 or 3 years, it'll be as mainstream as social media is today.
So does that fit the title of this conference most, Beyond Enterprise 2.0 Gamification?
I think so. Gamification, mobile, ubiquitous communications. Ultimately, it's not beyond Enterprise 2.0. It's an extension of it. It's a further deepening of that topic, because Enterprise 2.0 is just about human collaboration, and now it's adding a gaming element, a fun element to that. So it's a next step in the same basic process.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm looking very much forward to talk to you again in 2 years time, because this guy from SAP is ahead of the game. So I hope to see a lot of other companies start using gamification in their way of communicating with their peers and partners. Sam, thank you for this interview.
Thank you very much.